Well, the Eagles must have came in for some workouts the other day because we had some press conferences from Nick Sirianni, Jaylen Herz, and a few other players, and we get more information on the new hiring of offensive coordinator and Kevin Patullo and kind of the things we kind of been waiting for because he's been pretty much the question mark of the offseason and what we're going to see going into the offseason program and all of that. I want to get into that and kind of what was said at these press conferences. So let's get straight into it all.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Hope everyone is doing very well in their work week. And with OTAs in another week, we had some press conferences the other day, and a few players, and obviously the head coach had to say some things about what's been going on. And, I'll take some of the important things from it because there were some things that were said that were just really dumb. And there were some things that were said that, I want to hear some answers from some of the players. So to start out, I think Jaylen Herz, okay, now, Jaylen Herz has had he's had a really busy offseason. Some people think of him as a cultural icon at this point. And, when you're in Essence magazine and, you're with Michael Jordan and you're talking to him and you're doing all these crazy things, it's almost hard to ignore that. And Jaylen Hurts, from the minute he won the Super Bowl in 2024, I think he celebrated for probably 10 minutes because it seemed like we were going to get some overly, emotional moment, which we really didn't get. Maybe he did on his own time. Maybe when it finally hit him, it did. But I already felt like after 10 minutes after winning the Super Bowl, from Jaylen Hurts' point of view, that he was already ready for the 2025 season. Now, in this press conference, he was asked about last year and all that kind of stuff and the tush push. And, if it's canceled, what are you going to do? Because, that's what everyone's going to be talking about. He was kind of fed up at this point, was like, I kind of want to, we're going into 2025 now. All I'm thinking about right now is the 2025 season. His work ethic won't be denied. And, winning is the main thing. The main thing is the main thing. I mean, he was pretty much very focus driven, 25 driven, just driven within his own self in this press conference. Talked about Kevin Patullo saying, he thinks it's a match made in heaven, not quote unquote, but said some very positive things about Kevin Patullo as well. I'm not worried about Jaylen Hurts. I haven't been worried about him at all. The last thing I'm even worried about is the quarterback position going into this 25 training camp, into the preseason games, into the offseason program. It doesn't really matter. So now it's tunnel vision on 2025 and nothing else. And that's what I liked from the press conference from Jaylen Hurts, if that made any sense in some degree. Now, we did hear from Nick Sirianni as well, and talking about his contract, and wouldn't give specifics on price, wouldn't give specifics, obviously, on how many years. I heard from Howard Eskin rumor today his contract was worth about $10 million per year, which is crazy. And it's obviously well-deserved from him. The best coaches get money like that, and he's one of the best coaches ever since he got into the building for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, he was asked about the Kevin Patullo situation because really this whole entire day was like, I want to hear more about Kevin Patullo and what's been going on, more information on that situation. And, he says that it's the same process with, just like it was the same process with Kellen Moore, with Shane Steichen, with Brian Johnson when he was here. Shane has been in the room the last few years. This was the best hiring for the Eagles. There's probably a lot of coordinators out there they probably could have hired. And not unfortunately, but a lot of these other coordinators around the league want more control. One, two, they want to change the quarterback and the way he prepares, and they want to change the quarterback too much. When you already have your quarterback in a successful position when it comes to his work ethic, and not even his work ethic, but really his tape study and the way he's coached on the field, like they didn't want to change too much. And I have to really respect that because you don't want to change too much. I get it. You get new quarterback coaches every couple years, and sometimes you'll have a new coordinator. And hopefully Kevin Patullo is here at least for 2+ years. It would be great. At least 2 more years. That would be awesome if he works out and does a good job. But it seems like Nick has a lot of faith in him. Obviously, him and Kevin Patullo have a big relationship going back to like late 2000s, 2009. I forgot what year when I think they were on the Chargers together. I think one was a quarterback coach. I think Sirianni was a wide receiver coach at the time. So, they've known each other for a lot of years. Kevin has been in the building. The only thing Kevin hasn't really done so far is call the plays on the field. Okay. We know that a coordinator is not going to have all the control. Okay. We know that this is Nick's offense with a flavor of the coordinator kind of going into it. Okay. So that's what I've seen from pretty much last year with Kellen Moore being here, that it wasn't Kellen Moore's offense. It was Nick's offense sprinkled in with some different things from Kellen Moore. And I think that's what you're going to get the same with Kevin Patullo, who's proud to get this extension as well, because, without the players, he's very humble and he's not cocky about it. And he was like, the players got him the contract. Just like when Shane Steichen went to the Colts introductory press conference, he was crying, saying he named every player on the list that made him a successful coordinator to become a head coach. So really happy that Nick, mentioned the players, because without them, he doesn't really go anywhere, and his staff. You know what I mean? So really good press conference from Nick, and was really happy about that. Now, Jordan Mailata had some interesting things to say about, in general, just on, and this, you want to hear from as many players as you can about the new offensive coordinator and Kevin Patullo. So Jordan Mailata mentioned about Kevin Patullo, saying that he was very detailed, very open, and very approachable. And that's really good. Okay. I don't believe players just say things just to say it. It's unfortunate they couldn't keep Kellen Moore this year, because I'm just sick and tired of changing coordinators. And it's hard to really be successful in this league when you're changing coordinators every single year. So I think you're good with Vic Fangio till he retires, probably I would say another 3 years, maybe. And then, Kevin Patullo, we don't know the future of him, but we need to see what he does this year. And I've seen Kevin Patullo very involved in this offense too. I've seen him when they're on the field. He's always talking to the quarterback. He was always in conversations on the sidelines all the time. Even when Patullo was just the passing game coordinator, I've always seen Jaylen Herz go to the sideline and say, "Look, we need to pass more. Hey, we need to run more." And Patullo is just open to that. So I think that from hearing from A.J. Brown, Mailata, and some of the others, that they really like the creativity that Kevin Patullo is going to bring to this offense. And I think they're going to get a little bit of a slither in another week when they hit OTAs to see, kind of what they're doing. And once we get to full pads, we're going to see this whole thing unfold. And, who knows? Kevin Patullo might be a better coordinator than Kellen Moore. You never know at this point. So you're hoping that there's going to be a lot of success, because, and look, your offense is loaded. Besides right guard competition, you really have no holes to this offense. It's pretty much the same offense from last year without Mekhi Becton, with some competition there, and that's really it. So, I obviously know that these starters they're not going to play much since really the first game, probably the first series, and they're going to be just practicing for a few weeks before the season starts. And it's going to take them a few weeks to gel a little bit and to see what this running game is going to look like and how they're going to utilize a fullback. And, I'm very excited to see if things are going to change a lot with this offense. I don't think it's going to be, you have to change every year. You can't look the same every year. Because you do get figured out, you get a blueprint on you, and teams are going to be coming to get you next year. Now you're going to be the target next year. Every team is going to give you their best. Every team that win against the Eagles next year, if that's even possible, it's going to be their Super Bowl in a lot of ways. I think there's a lot of big positive things to take from the hiring, and that was really the main thing I kind of want to know between all these players, what was going on, and I felt really good about it. When we go into camp, that's going to be our next thing on how these players are used. Does it look too vanilla? Are they running the ball enough? Or, so we'll see how it goes, how they're utilizing the fullback. How are they going to be, how many tight ends are they going to keep? Is A.J. Dillon going to have a big factor in this backfield and not used like Rashad Penny a few years back? So there's a lot of questions regarding the offense, but nothing that's concerning. It's just really from a playbook standpoint to how he's going to use specific players and putting them in the right positions to win football games type of aspect of where we're going. So I know I've been rambling on this whole entire video, but Kevin Patullo has been the number one thing I want to kind of listen for in these press conferences. And we got some news on it, which was great. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. And make sure you hit the like button on this video because it helps out tremendously with the content. And we'll be back with more really soon. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.